Want to grow your business and take it to the next level? Well, here we all are, and we're going to show you how through hard work, perseverance, and a little help and know-how, you can take things to the next level and push the success of your business even further. Let's get going.
Welcome everyone, Paul Wright here, and welcome to the next episode of the Practiceology Podcast, the science of helping allied health professionals earn more, work less, and enjoy their lives. And I've got the great Maggie Bergeron joining us today. Maggie, thanks for joining me on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
I've followed Maggie's path for a long time, and I'm stoked with what's happening with her company at the moment. So we're going to delve into that today. Maggie's introduction: she's a physiotherapist from the great Toronto, Canada, and co-founder of Embodia. She's passionate about the use of technology to support clinic owners and clinicians, which she'll share in the episode today. And for the past 6 years, she has developed Embodia to be a platform of 31,000 plus rehab professionals, thousands of clinics who use it every single day to grow their clinics, support their patients, and develop their team culture. And we're going to dive into it. You right to go, Maggie?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. In true Practiceology format, your time starts now. Maggie, who is your ideal client at Embodia?
Our ideal client is the forward-thinking small to medium-sized practice owner who's looking for cutting-edge technology to reduce their workload, wow their staff with amazing perks, and support patients to improve retention and referrals.
And you're global. We've got people everywhere. We're talking international here.
Absolutely.
All right. Question 2. So what problem do you solve for them, Maggie? How do you help these poor owners?
So we solve many problems, including patient retention and engagement, cost of continuing education for staff, and the ubiquitous challenge of clinic culture. But the one that I'd focus on is the one of having to use so many different platforms to run a clinical practice. And in fact, we actually cut that number in half. So if you think of the number of platforms that you need accounting, marketing, and social media scheduling. And then you also need your EMR, practice management, home exercise, tele-rehab, some way of communicating with patients, and team training and documentation. And all of those are in one on Embodia.
Funny, when you say that, it makes me realize how overwhelming this is. I can see why you've done it. So typical symptoms, Maggie, question 3 then, with 5 minutes and 40 seconds left. So typical symptoms people experience, well, overwhelm comes to mind, but what are the symptoms that people have with this tech problem?
Yeah, certainly overwhelm. Also see high turnover of staff, the owner feeling exhausted and burnt out, low staff morale, decreased engagement. People don't enjoy coming to work. They don't feel excited. And then from an owner's perspective, either spending a lot of money and then not seeing returns, or sometimes it swings the other way and penny pinching, trying to save, but then the clinic systems suffer.
Okay. It's funny, having said that, has really hit me hard. I didn't even think about it, that the extent of the overwhelm what we've got. So question 4, so what are the common mistakes that owners make when they try and solve this problem of overwhelm and multi-tech? What do they do wrong?
I think this is something that's really coming to the surface more now, because we used to use things like Word documents or Excel sheets and kind of create our own systems. But now we have all this amazing technology where you can do it. But instead of setting up 6 different platforms, you can do it all in one. One of the common mistakes that we see people make is focusing only on salary and not on the perks and the culture of the clinic, and then constantly focusing on recruiting rather than retaining the amazing staff that they have and helping to develop them into the clinicians that they could be.
That's right. We just did the whole recruitment program, and I say to my guys, the best recruitment strategy is retention, because you've already got them. Same with patients. So question 5, with about 4 minutes left. So what's a valuable free action, Maggie, that our listeners and viewers can use to help them with this problem? What can they do?
This is a really fun, easy exercise to do. We actually just did it with our team again recently, and it helps give you kind of a pulse on where you're at with your clinic culture and figuring out, why do people enjoy working with you or not, and what would they change? This exercise is called Going to Mars. And really quickly, essentially what you do is you take your 5 top people or executives or managers, and you sit down and you ask them, if we were going to set up our clinic on Mars, who would you send and why? The why is really important. And you need to also explicitly say, do not send the top performers. you could send the top performers, but it's important to think about everybody and the characteristics of the people you want representing you on your Mars clinic. May not be so far off into the future when we think of it now. And if you don't have a big team, or maybe you're a sole proprietor, that's okay. You can still do this exercise. You just imagine. So if you imagine your ideal team, what are the characteristics of the people that you would want representing you and your brand on Mars? And write that all down, and then you collate the list. So you come up with all of the repeated values that come up over and over.
I love it. So question 6 then, Maggie, with about 2 minutes left. So what's a valuable free resource you can send people to help them with this culture problem? What can they do?
Yep. So this resource actually has the Going to Mars exercise fully explained in it in all detail. And it's the free resource is the ultimate guide to create great clinic culture. It's a 28-page document, but it has lots of infographics and images. We also outline some of the top clinics' values in it as well. And essentially, we've saved you hours of work by putting together this comprehensive guide that will teach you what culture is, how to develop it, and 5 simple ways to boost team performance.
And where do they go to get it, Maggie? Where do they go?
So the URL is info.embodiaapp.com/culture.
Okay, do you want to say that again for me and spell it out? What was it?
Sure. Info, INFO, Embodia, EMBODIA, app.com/culture.
Beautiful. What I love what you've done, Maggie, you've identified culture, and then you've worked out from your training resources and your EMR and everything else how to solve the culture problem. And you've kind of gone about it. I love the way you've gone about it. You've identified the problem is because of overwhelm, too many apps, lack of communication, lack of education, and you've just solved it on one platform.
Yes. Work should be fun. We should have fun while we work.
All right. So question 7 with about a minute to go. What's the one question I should have asked you, Maggie, that would give great value to our audience?
Maybe something that we often talk to clinics about, and we see a big discrepancy is why do some clinics experience this explosive growth, whereas others remain stuck in a rut and they just can't seem to get going?
So what do you notice? What is the secret?
Currently, and this has been really advanced because of COVID, it's the willingness and the openness to adopt new technology and to listen to staff, to listen to your staff about what they want and to actually incorporate that into your practice. Technology is going to absolutely change physiotherapy and healthcare, and bringing it into our clinics, making it an integral part of what we do is not only going to be helpful right now, but certainly is going to be helpful in the next 5 years.
Beautiful. I love the way you've approached it. I love even looking at the Embodia platform. There's so much on it that is culture enhancing, and you've done it. Well done, Maggie. What's the URL again for that resource? Give it again, just so we don't miss it.
info.embodiaapp.com/culture.
Beautiful. I love what you're doing. Maggie, thanks for joining me on the Practiceology Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Now, if you haven't caught one of our recent webinar demonstrations of Practiceology, go to mypracticeology.com, and I'll see you in the next episode.